welcome back to my channel, the best place to be wherever you are on your wealth journey right now. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the big debt repayment secret that I discovered a few years ago, which enabled me to pay off £125,000 worth of debt in just 4 years. I'm also going to be covering the big question that everybody always asks about debt, which of course is, which debt should I pay off first? Now, there are two schools of thought about which debt to pay off first. Number one is that we should pay off our debts in terms of loan size, smallest to largest. The second is that we should pay off our loans in terms of interest rate, highest to lowest. But there is also a third way, so keep watching to find out what that is. The first school of thought says that you should pay off your debts smallest to largest. So if you have 3 debts, one is £2,000, one is £4,000 and one is £6,000, the theory behind that is that you pay off the smallest debt, the £2,000 first, followed by the £4,000, followed by the £6,000. So that is one school of thought, smallest to largest. Now, a second school of thought is that you should pay off your debts depending on how much interest you're paying on them. And that school of thought says that you should pay the highest interest loan first and work your way towards the smallest interest. So again, if you have 3 loans and one has an interest of 0%, one has an interest of 5%, and one has an interest rate of 18%, you should go for the 18%, then the 5% and then the 0%. So 2 very differing schools of thought there. But again, I looked at these and I immediately didn't like the idea of paying off the one with the highest interest, because for me, the one with the highest interest was actually the one that would take the longest anyway, and I was paying very little towards it, and I knew that I wouldn't reach my goal as fast as I wanted to, because back then literally all of my income was being taken up, either paying my mortgage and my utility bills, or it was going out paying all my debts. So I had very little money left over to play with, and because of that I thought, well, it's going to take me forever to pay the debt if I only pay the one with the highest interest. So I thought, well, let's have a look at going smallest to largest. So I looked at paying off smallest to largest, and again it kind of resonated with me, because I thought, okay, yep, that makes sense to pay it off smallest to largest, but can I do it even faster than that? So I sat down and I looked at all the figures, and the first thing I did was I wrote all my debts down in a spreadsheet. So I strongly recommend that the first thing you do when you have a debt situation like I did is to write it down in a spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet here, and in this one I'm going to show you nice easy round numbers to work with so that we've got that down, and I'll show you my examples. So here's the spreadsheet. So I've listed some debts here. I've got A, which is a loan at 6% for 3 years. I've got B, which is also a loan at 3% for 2 years. I've got a credit card of 2.5% for 7 years. I've got a furniture loan, which was one of those 0% for a year deals, so I've got that one. And E is a credit card, which is 18%, and it's going to take me forever to pay it off. Well, it won't really take you forever to pay it off, but it certainly might seem that way when you've got all the other debts to think about as well. So let's go through it then. Now, the first thing you want to do once you've listed all the debts down that you've got is to write down the amounts that you've got outstanding. So how much do you actually owe on these loans? I'll put these into the next column along, and we can see here, so I've got £5,000 on loan A, £12,000 on loan B, £8,000 on the credit card at C, £2,000 on my furniture loan, and £7,000 on my credit card at E. So I've got £34,000 worth of debt outstanding on these 5 cards in this example. Now, I am working in pounds here at the moment because I'm from the UK, but if you're in a different country, then obviously you can convert that to whatever currency you're in. So once I've written down my amounts that I've got outstanding, I'm then going to write down how much I actually pay towards each of them. If you have a budgeting spreadsheet, which I cover in the Wealth Action Plan video, which is this one just up here, then I strongly recommend that you take the figures from your budgeting spreadsheet or your Wealth Action Plan and put it in to here. So you should have the exact figures. So on my spreadsheet, this would be the outflow column, so what you're actually paying every single month towards your debts. So write those in the different columns. So we've got A, our actual monthly payment there is £163.88. B, our loan is £530. C, our credit card is £111.90. Our furniture loan at D is £174.99, and our credit card at E is £140 per month. Okay, so we can see here that I'm paying out £1,120.77 towards all my debts every single month. So that's quite a lot of money. And that 1,120, imagine what else you could do with that money every single month if you had that spare and you didn't have to pay it towards your debts every single month. So this is why it's really important to get those debts paid down so that you've then got that cash available to you and you can use it to spend on other things or save or do the stuff in life that you really want to get done. Once we've written down our monthly payment, we then want to work out how much of that monthly payment is paid in repayment towards the actual debt and how much is paid in interest. So again, this is something that you can do. You need to find out how the interest is calculated. So it might be that you need to speak to your loan provider or have a look at your statements, because normally they'll send you statements in the post every month or email them to you, and it should have all the information on the statements. But if it's not there, then you can always just ring them up and say, how is this calculated? How much do I pay in interest and how much is actually repayment on the loan? And then once you've got those figures worked out, you can fill in the next two columns, which are the interest per month and the repayment per month. So I've broken it down. So for loan A, I'm paying interest of £25 per month. Loan B is £30 a month. Credit card C is £16.67. My furniture loan is 0% interest, remember, so I'm not paying any interest towards that one. And my credit card E is £105 per month. Okay. So then I work out my repayment. So again, I've spoken to my provider and I found out how much I'm actually repaying every single month. So on loan A, I'm paying £138.88 back every single month. So that's coming off the balance every month. On loan B, I'm paying £500 a month, and that's coming off the balance every month as well. Credit card C, I'm paying £95.23. My furniture loan, it's the whole amount because I'm not paying any interest on that one, remember, so the whole £174.99 comes off that loan every month. And my credit card, which is going to take me forever, is £35 per month that I'm repaying. Okay, now there's some interesting things that we can see here. So first of all, we can have a look again and remember the two main things that people say are you could pay off your debts smallest to largest. So in that case, I would be paying off my furniture loan D first of all, followed by loan A at £5,000, followed by loan E, followed by credit card C, and then lastly by loan B. So smallest to largest. Now I could go highest interest to lowest interest. So that would mean my E credit card would be the first one to be paid off. My credit card at E, then it will be loan A, then loan B, credit card C, and finally our furniture loan at D. Two very different ways of working with very different outcomes and results just from looking at this one set of loans. So I had a look at all my debts and I thought to myself, what if there is another way to do this? What if there's a third way that we just don't know about? So I started having a look at all the debts. And I worked out that the best way to pay them off for me, and again, this is not financial advice, guys, okay, this is just stuff that I've personally done that has made me successful. So for me, I wanted to pay my loans off fastest to slowest, okay. Now I'll say that again, I wanted to pay my loans off fastest to slowest. When I was talking about the 5 things that make you wealthy, I talk about annihilating your debt. Not just paying off a little bit here and a little bit there, but total annihilation, doing it as quickly as we possibly can, which is why this method makes so much sense to me. Now, one of the key things when you are going through a debt situation is your mindset, because normally if you have a debt situation, certainly if it's anything like mine was, there'll be this little niggling voice at the back of your head saying, oh, you're not going to be able to pay that off. Don't think you can try and do that. You're going to be 65 by the time you've paid this lot off. What do you think you're doing trying to pay it off? And because you've got this niggling voice all the time, if you try, because lots of people, it's a bit like dieting, you try and do it and then you sort of get so far and you don't really see any results and then you sort of give up more often than not, not always obviously, but more often than not, that's what happens. I'd already tried paying off some of the debts and I was failing miserably at it. And I thought, what if there is a different way? So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay off the debt that I know that I can pay off the fastest. You want to pay your debt quickly to give yourself a sense of achievement. Your brain goes from thinking, oh, this is so difficult, I can't do it, I'm going to give up, to thinking, amazing, I smashed it, let's smash the next one. Now, how do I find out which debt I can pay off the fastest? Okay, so if I take loan A, I have £5,000 that I'm owing on loan A. And what I want to do is to divide that £5,000 by the amount that I'm repaying towards that loan every month. So where we have the repayment per month column, that's what I'm dividing by. So £5,000 divided by £138.88, and that comes to 36 months. So we can see that it's going to take me 36 months, worst case scenario, to pay that loan down. And that's if I do nothing but sit on my hands. So we carry on going down the list. Now, what I will say is that you'll find sometimes when you divide, it's got a decimal place. And I would always say round up to the next highest month, okay, because that way you're always looking at the worst case scenario, because the plan is to pay this off as quickly as you can. So if you're looking at the worst case scenario, you can say, right, well, if it's 41 months, how many months, sooner can I make it? And you do it that way. So I then carry on doing this for the rest of the sheet. So I'm looking at 36 months for A, I'm looking at 24 months for loan B, credit card C is going to take me 84 months. My furniture loan, 0%, is going to take me 12 months to pay off, and my Forever credit card is going to take me 200 months, which is the best part of 16 years. And obviously in real life, it's not going to take you that long. And over time, obviously you won't be paying quite as much interest, and you'll end up paying more capital than interest over time. But we'll ignore that one for now. We're going to go, we've decided that the fastest one to pay off is loan D. So even though it's 0%, we're still going to pay it off first. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 12 months and we're going to say, okay, worst case scenario, we pay this off in 12 months. How much faster can we do it? And we put all our time and effort and energy and any extra cash that we might have into absolutely annihilating that particular loan as quickly as we possibly can. Now we're going to ignore the others in the background for the moment, but what we are going to do is to maintain our monthly minimum payments on all of the other 4 loans. That's really important. So you want to maintain your monthly minimums on all the rest, okay? But we're going to concentrate on loan D. And we think to ourselves, well, if it's going to take us 12 months, worst case, to pay it off, how much quicker can I make that if I put all of my effort and my energy into it? How fast can I get rid of that loan? Once I've done that and I've paid the £2,000, I've then got £174.99 that I can take, that I'm not now paying towards that loan, and I can pay it towards a different loan. So if we look at the loans in order then, fastest to slowest, the fastest one is our furniture loan D. The second one is going to be loan B. Then we're going to pay off our loan A. Then it's going to be our credit card C. And finally, our Forever credit card E. Now in my next video, I'm going to be talking a lot more about what we do with the money once we've got it, once we've started repaying the loans. But I just wanted to talk in this video about thinking differently and about this debt repayment secret, because it is a very different way of working compared with the other 2 methods that we're all familiar with. And for me, it works an absolute treat, because you know that if you can get that 12 months down, you can then work on the next one. Time is against us. We don't want to be spending forever paying our debts back. We don't want to be doing it when we're 65. So it makes sense to me to do it in order of the fastest to the slowest. So I hope you've enjoyed the method that I've used here, guys. It's a little bit different to the way that we've been taught in the past. I've been teaching this method now for at least a couple of years, and students have told me how well they've gotten on with it. So I really hope that it helps you with your debt situation. Don't forget to tune in next time when I'll be taking this a step further and showing you how to actually start repaying the debt. It's going to be a really good one, so hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, and hit the bell next to it so that you'll be notified when that next video comes out, because it's one that you're not going to want to miss. Up next, please do watch these 2 videos over here. I think you'll really enjoy those ones next of all. Thank you very much indeed for watching today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, guys.